Welcome to this Campus Renewal Steering Team's presentation of our master plan concept. I'm Susan Petrus.
And I'm Jan Barbie.
And we are two of the 8 members on CRST. We invite you to start with prayer. Creator God, your wisdom is infinite and your love for us eternal. Foster in us a desire to view our earthly mission through your eyes and heart. Inspire in us a love for each other, for our neighbors, but most of all for you. Bless our efforts as we share this vision to further Augsburg's work on this campus and in our lives. In your name, amen. As I mentioned earlier, Jan and I are 2 of the 8 members of Augsburg who've been involved in these efforts over the past 2 years. Let's briefly review how we got here. For more than 10 years, ministry team leadership and staff have been making notes of maintenance issues, and we realize that we don't live in our spaces the way we intended 20 years ago. So,
in 2018, the congregation approved the formation of the Campus Renewal Steering Team, or CRST, with representation from across the congregation. In 2019, CRST held listening sessions to engage the congregation and ministry teams to collect comments and input. We transcribed your post-it notes, but continue to display them in our workspace as a reminder of our commitment to you.
In 2020, CRST published a report, Yesterday, Today, Tomorrow, and shared the collected information with the congregation.
What we heard from the congregation provided us with priorities. We developed this pyramid that illustrates the hierarchy of needs on that input. Our team used this as a guide as we looked at the needed maintenance and repairs, the use of our spaces now, and how we might improve them to better support our ministries. You will notice the 3 red sections reflect the goals of our congregation. This project will address our outreach, relationships, and worship needs. CRST has been working continuously since January of 2019.
In February of 2021, we selected Walter Robbs Architects to help develop a master plan concept. We added New Atlantic Contracting in April of 2021 to provide pre-construction services. Both of these professional groups have been very helpful. In August of 2021, we gave the master plan to New Atlantic to estimate. We are here today to share the concept with you. We've gathered all the comments. We know that we have repairs and deferred maintenance to address. The repairs will be disruptive. This is a good time to look at how we use the building's spaces today and how we can improve the ways we use the spaces in the future. The Holy Spirit has been at work through the 8 of us, and each offers different perspectives and passions. We have grown together as we have sought to include all of these voices, which represent your voices, in this first look at this project concept.
The Campus Renewal Steering Team began by developing a plan for all of the deferred maintenance, infrastructure, and programming updates that have become obvious over the past 10 years. We know that we need to do this project, whatever shape it takes. Our purpose today is to share the concept and the concept estimate for the project that CRST has developed. We have a team of professionals helping us develop the concept and helping us with the concept estimate. We are working with architects from Walter Robbs for concept design. New Atlantic Contracting is helping us develop the concept estimate, and Stemmel helped with the site plans for the grounds.
And we have received professional assessments for the roof and building envelope, the heating and air conditioning systems, hazardous materials, the structural condition of the buildings and proposed renovations, and the organ.
This concept reflects the input we received from the congregation and our work with our architects and contractor to develop the initial scope of work. We are not asking you today for anything more than your attention and comments on the concept.
We have a beautiful old building, and we have accumulated deferred maintenance for a number of years. Addressing these issues is our first priority. To provide some background, Augsburg's sanctuary and main building were built in 1927. The sanctuary is nearly 100 years old. The east wing, where we now have the music suite, the office, and youth spaces, was added in 1957 and was fully renovated in 2000.
The west wing, where we have the gathering room, classrooms and nursery, elevator, and family life center, was built in 2000. We have about 65,000 square feet of usable space on the main campus and about 16,000 square feet in the Augsburg Community Center. With input from the property team and the congregation, we have identified maintenance concerns in each of these buildings. As we talk about areas across campus, you can refer to this graphic in the attached handout. Imagine that you are standing on 5th Street in front of the sanctuary. As with all buildings, there are maintenance concerns to address. We heard you say stairs, sidewalks, and entrances are hazardous. Walkways inside and outside the buildings are confusing. Parking is not very convenient and safety can be improved. We have limited handicapped accessible parking. Our signage is minimal and doesn't help us and our guests find our way both inside and out. Lighting is poor across the campus.
The first step to making Augsburg's campus more welcoming and connected is to improve our site. The Troutman House will come down.
In 2019, Council approved the recommendation of the 5th Street Property Task Committee to remove the Troutman House to make way for an improved campus. The 5th Street team received approval for the demolition from the Historic Resource Commission of Winston-Salem with about a 3-year period of time to complete the demolition. Attempts have been made to sell the building to anyone who would move it from its current location to a place of their own choosing. These efforts will be renewed later this year.
We recommend a gentle ascending path that connects all of our parking across Pilot View. This is a continuous path to our major entrances and all the way up to the sanctuary. Attractive outdoor areas will pull our spaces together and surround us with natural beauty. With better and more accessible parking close to the buildings, we will enjoy improved access to the campus.
We will have walkways that connect the campus and will improve our visual presence.
More defined entrances will welcome all to the office, the sanctuary, the family life center, the youth area, and the children's area. A cohesive design and prominent signage will help people understand the campus and find their way.
The building systems that we tend to take for granted need to be repaired or updated. Preservation of all our buildings includes repair and maintenance and more.
With care, we can repair and preserve our buildings for the next chapter in the congregation's life. The red tile roof on the 1927 building is in good shape, but some areas of the other roof surfaces need to be repaired. We need to replace flashing and improve gutters, which are the sources of most of our leaks. And we need to make changes to move water away from buildings.
Our beautiful stone walls are also in good shape, but need some tender loving care. And some of our windows, eaves, and trim need repair and a fresh coat of paint. Walkways and steps need to be repaired or replaced. We've taken good care of our HVAC, so we are fortunate that it continues to provide good service. But most of our units are really old and are at the end of their life and need to be replaced.
We recommend upgrading to a commercial grade air conditioning system and additional air handling units for better fresh air mixing. This will allow for better ventilation throughout our buildings. Most of these units can be placed on less visible portions of the roof.
Spaces that gather us in and help us reach out to our neighbors will welcome us to the buildings. For those visiting for the first time or returning every week, our campus tells something about who we are. Making a more inviting first impression will better reflect the values that are important to us. Welcoming spaces will support a culture of welcome across the campus and through our ministries. We heard you.
Space is tight for greeting visitors. Guests are not sure where. It is not easy to meet and greet one another. The spaces aren't efficient for weddings or funerals.
An inviting narthex will be welcoming to all. The gathering room is reimagined as an extension of the narthex with large pocket doors that open up the room, expanding its multi-purpose flexibility. Plus, a coffee serving bar that supports community gathering will be near the sanctuary.
Having a nursery closer to the sanctuary will benefit young families and visitors with small children. Expanded and updated restrooms will benefit all. We heard you. Refresh the Family Life Center so that it looks less like a gym.
Lighting is inadequate and the AV system is hard to use. We really need an integrated ramp for better access to the columbarium.
Now that we have the outdoor gathering space, can we connect it to the building in a better way?
A refreshed Family Life Center will continue to serve the whole congregation well. We are planning for attractive flooring, walls, and ceiling. A warmer feeling space.
Better multi-level lighting, open access to the outdoor gathering space, and an easy-to-use audio-video system.
We've already updated appliances in the kitchen, so we're in good shape there. We heard
the overflow shelter ministry is important and should have a dedicated place. Can we provide more spaces for outside groups to have meetings?
Being the church should be more about loving our neighbor. The overflow shelter gets a new home. The Augsburg Community Center across the street was included in our assessment of the campus, and we realized the outreach potential for this space. We are recommending that dedicated space for a more hospitable shelter space be created in the Augsburg Community Center. This will better support this vital ministry. There will also be intentional spaces available for community use, such as AA or Al-Anon groups.
This will be possible through a long-term partnership that we are exploring with the Dwelling and the NC Synod. Our council has approved a memorandum of understanding that is a first step toward an agreement. Our current tenant in the ACC, Imprints Cares, had already been considering a move, and they have already found new space through a gift from the Babcock Foundation. Congregational spaces for all our ministries. Faith communities are at their best when all generations of God's people are gathered together.
Augsburg is blessed to be a community that has new babies, growing kids, young adults, and people of every generation. In addition to common spaces that encourage intergenerational community, it is also healthy for our congregation to have inviting, safe, flexible, and functional spaces that meet the specific programming needs of our generations.
This process has identified specific needs of our young children, our middle and high school aged youth, and adults of all ages. We heard
It is challenging and confusing to find the children's spaces. Many of our spaces feel tired, dark, and rather drab. Closed-off spaces make it hard for kids to move around, and it can be difficult to comply with safe gathering policies in our current spaces.
Realizing how important children's faith formation is for the congregation, we recommend children's ministries move to the space below the sanctuary. This area will have to be completely gutted to provide necessary access for the upgraded HVAC in the sanctuary, for an opportunity to renovate this space. Repurposing this area improves the visibility of this space for young families. We envision bright, flexible space that fits the way our youngsters learn.
This concept includes a dedicated area for children's ministry here as well. This area would have easy access to an outside green space play area where lots of learning continues, and the space would be designed with safe gatherings protocols in mind. We heard you say our youth spaces still fit most of what we do, but again, they feel dark, tired, and rather drab. Can we find more storage for youth supplies? There's a lack of flexibility of the spaces that limits our programming. Can we create space for quiet time and prayer?
The current youth area works well and would be reimagined and refreshed as improved space that remains flexible. Rearranging spaces for play, learning, and contemplation will better support youth ministry. Updating the interiors will make the rooms more welcoming and better suited to their use. Renovating the kitchen with an open floor plan will still work well for serving meals and also create a great space for meetings and a meal. Expanded storage space helps support youth ministry needs. And updated technology will help facilitate learning and discussion. We heard you say,
lighting in adult gathering rooms is poor. Most of these rooms are not very welcoming. These rooms can be chilly temperature-wise. It can be hard to find the room you're looking for. And a lack of technology tools limits class discussion and meeting collaboration.
Renovated spaces will support more effective adult faith formation and ministry programming. We will have refreshed classroom spaces for Bible studies and Sunday school with access to current technologies. Our concept will group adult classrooms together on the third floor of the 2000 building for better accessibility. Heating and cooling would be available on demand in individual rooms.
This concept includes a better multi-use space that celebrates Augsburg's history. The quilting ministry could move to the Family Life Center, where there would be more flexible space plus storage. Comfortable, private space for Stephen Ministry would be provided. We heard you say, visitors and vendors don't know where to enter on weekdays. The staff has changed and will continue to grow, requiring spaces that offer flexibility for the way we work. Pastoral care spaces are limited in the current configuration. We no longer have a room for breaks or meals.
Reinvigorate the office as it is our front door during the week. We propose a new, attractive, and safely accessible entrance with a ramp that will better identify the main entrance. This space will include enough offices and functional workspaces to meet our staff needs. It will also provide a better kitchenette and break room and include improved infrastructure for IT and communications.
Rejuvenated worship spaces will support our primary reason for gathering. Worship is at the heart of who we are and the one element of our faith community that we all share. Rejuvenated workspace will include Focus on the sacraments of Holy Baptism and Holy Communion. More comfortable climate conditioning. Better lighting. Better sound quality. Refinished pews. Integrated technologies to stream services, and refreshed furnishings. We heard you.
We would like to use the front doors. Lighting is inadequate. There are dramatic temperature extremes. We have difficulty hearing speakers. Pews are tight for larger people or those who are mobility challenged. It is challenging to see the baptismal font. We lack service streaming capabilities. And this old shabby carpet and broken floor tiles are embarrassing.
The rejuvenated sanctuary will reinforce the significance of worship in the life of the congregation. A larger chancel will provide space for a new altar table so the pastors can share the meal. Our font will reside in the center aisle, reflecting its central importance, and it will be more visible to all. As needed, we'll be able to easily move it to open up the full aisle.
We recommend that the pews be refinished and then modified and rearranged slightly to provide more accessible seating for those who need more room and for those who have mobility issues. We recommend new wood flooring that will improve the acoustics, be easier to clean, and be beautiful.
We recommend an expanded and enclosed narthex to help with air conditioning and sound control. We recommend a variable refrigerant flow, or VRF, system for heating and cooling, which will provide more comfort without drafts, be a quiet system, improve ventilation, and will maintain more even temperatures, especially for the organ.
We recommend improved and efficient lighting that would include relamping the chandeliers, updating the cans and spots, and adding flexibility for a variety of lighting schemes to fit different worship services.
We heard you.
Parts of the organ have deteriorated and can no longer be played, and a number of the pipes are collapsing. At times, the organ sounds too loud. The organ will continue to need major repairs.
Past renovations did as much as could possibly be done to improve an instrument that was built in a style that would not likely be built today. Our organ consultant, Dr. Krista Miller, said it this way: an organ can only be as good as the year it was built. An organ built in the 1960s can only be restored to original 1960s technology and building standards. A new organ makes good sense for the congregation. A recent assessment confirmed the findings of the 2015 organ team study that a new instrument makes better sense than repairing this organ.
A new instrument would be built to fit better, sound better, and be a better instrument for supporting congregational singing. A new instrument would likely require less maintenance and last for generations to come.
The new instrument would better reflect the importance of high-quality music that the congregation expects, and the organ team is currently seeking proposals from organ builders.
The process to build a new organ is a 3 to 5 year process requiring lots of planning and coordination with the planned renovations in the sanctuary. Securing a relationship with an organ builder in the next few months will provide a unique opportunity for the builder to work in concert with the architect in terms of the overall sanctuary renovations. As we evaluated our spaces across our campus, CRST realized that having future space to expand as we grow as a congregation is vital. The space on the lowest level of the 1927 building, that is the current children's ministry space, will become flex space.
We recommend some basic renovations that will make this space more usable and flexible for future ministry support. As we present this slide to you, we want to emphasize the words concept and estimate. We worked with our contractor and the architects to put a price on this concept. We estimate this concept may cost $9 to $11 million. This number includes everything that we have presented today.
This estimate is based on the general descriptions and initial drawings for the proposed renovations of the concept. This estimate includes professional fees and allows for anticipated cost increases being seen in the construction industry.
During the next phase of work, every detail will be worked out, and with a more complete scope of work, the estimates will become more solid. Here is a proposed timeline of how this may unfold. During March, we are sharing the concept with the congregation through the end of the month.
March through April of this year and into May, the Living Legacy campaign will be in full swing seeking your support for the project, culminating with commitment on May 22nd.
And also at the end of May, the results of the Living Legacy campaign will be shared, giving us a clearer indication of our capacity for the proposed project.
In June of this year, 2022, congregation gathers for a called meeting to approve CRST's continued work and to begin detailed design with architects and the contractor.
Over the summer of 2022, this year, CRST, architects, and the contractor will work on detailed designs to develop a final estimate for the project. This will take 5 to 6 months.
In November of this year, 2022, the congregation would receive a final recommendation for the complete project and vote to proceed with construction.
In the spring of 2023, renovations will begin on the main campus with a phasing plan so that we are out of the sanctuary for the shortest possible amount of time.
In the winter of 2024, the project is completed with a dedication service. To be determined in 2025, the installation of the organ. This has been a lot of information to share.
We know that we need to do this project.
This concept that we have shared today is intended to provide a general description of the work that needs to be done and the renovations that we recommend.
In the capital campaign, you will be asked to support the project with the understanding that every detail of every component of this concept will be worked out later this year.
This concept is our roadmap for where we are going. In some areas we have some detail, but in many areas the details are the next step of the process. So let's hear from you. Please let us know if you have any questions at all concerning this presentation.